Robert Trent Jones Golf Club.
Perfect.
For anybody in the room that has any questions, I'll ask a couple and then we'll go to you all here in the media center. And then if there's any questions on the Zoom, please use the raise hand function and I'll call on you when it's your turn. From left to right, I'm pleased to join Megan Khang, Nelly Korda, Alison Lee, and Assistant Captain Paula Creamer. Megan, we'll get started with you first. You went undefeated last year in all the matches you participated in, being one of 15 to do so. What does this format bring out in you?
That's super cool to hear that, but playing in this format, it definitely brings out a little more enthusiasm, getting the crowd involved, and just kind of playing for more than just yourself than you would be typically every other week. And whenever you get a chance to represent the red, white, and blue in your country, it's a huge honor that none of us take lightly. And so kind of having that on your shoulders, playing for yourself, your teammates, your captains, your assistant captains, the fans, and again, just your country, it brings a little more meaning to it, and you just fight a little more harder than you would typically.
And now I'll move on to you, Nelly. You've had 6 wins this season, an incredible start to 2024. What was it like to be the first person to clinch a spot on the team, and what does this event mean to you as a whole?
Yeah, this year has kind of been a crazy year. I feel like Bradenton feels like a lifetime ago, and getting to clinch my spot on the team, so early on in the season definitely means a lot. Getting to represent my country, I've been lucky enough and honored enough to do it a couple of times, and every single time, as Megan says, whenever you get to wear the red, white, and blues and the stars and stripes, there's a different meaning to it. You're playing not just for yourself, but for your captains, for your teammates, and your country, and there's just nothing like it.
And then Alison, you're making your return to the Solheim Cup stage. Just talk about how excited you were to hear you made the 2024 team this year.
Yeah, I mean, it means so much. I was really hoping on relying on a captain's pick last year, and that didn't happen. So I did everything I could to make sure I got on the team of my own this year, and thankfully I did. I was really fortunate to qualify for the Solheim in 2015 as a rookie, and it's been a roller coaster of a ride for me since then. I lost my card a couple times. I've had a couple good years, but 9 years later, since my rookie year and playing on my first Solheim Cup team, to be back here and make it on the team means so much, and I'm really excited to play this week.
And then lastly, Paula, you're considered one of the best Solheim Cup players, making 7 appearances. Just talk about how you think your past success in this competition will help the team this year.
Well, I think everybody on this team is just so excited to be here. It's a special week for everybody, and being here in our nation's capital also, I think, is just a constant reminder of what we're doing and why we're here and the colors that we wear. And, it's pretty neat to watch these girls. Obviously I compete against them, but I love my spot where I'm at right now. I think it's great. I didn't miss a shot today. It was fun to watch them, but I truly believe these 12 girls can pull it together, and they are just excited to be here, which I think is from the past Solheim Cups that I have played in. When you see that and you're around that, it just motivates everybody. Even when you are down, it brings you back up again, and it realizes that we're a team and we're not an individual sport this week.
All right, I'll open it up now in the media center. Please raise your hand if you have any questions, and a mic will be run to you. Sarah, on the left.
I know the 3 of you are obviously great friends off the golf course. What's the camaraderie like of the U.S. team this year? Obviously last year, the tie, and I know there's some unfinished business floating around, but what are you all like in the team room this year, and what's the camaraderie been like?
Who would like to answer?
I mean, it's been pretty fun. Obviously this year we're not staying on site, and so the team bus rides have been immaculate vibes on it every time we've been, whether it's been like a 5-minute bus ride or a 40-minute bus ride to and from the course. And so just having that around, it's definitely something it's definitely fun to be a part of. And then even when we're home, or hotel, our team room there, we had a nice adventure around DC yesterday, and at the end of the night we're still all kind of hanging out down in the team room, and it's just overall a lot of fun. And I mean, the caddies are a great group of bunch too, so it's really fun to see them kind of have some ping pong competition in there, and we have the cornhole outside of our cottage, and so the competition never fails, but at the end of the day, we know we're out there supporting each other.
Alison, for you, obviously played really solid at the end of last season and carried that over into the early part of this year. To have the longevity that you've had on the LPGA and to, like you said, make it back 9 years later, have you really processed this moment yet? And what does it really mean to you to be able to battle your way back to a Solheim Cup position?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. I feel like the time has gone by so quickly. It feels like it was just yesterday when it was my rookie year out here. Thankfully, this year too, all my friends and family get to come watch playing in the States. Last time I played in this, it was in Germany, and I didn't have any family over there with me. So it does mean so much, and it was a huge goal of mine to make the team this year, as it was last year. I mean, I was very heartbroken when Stacey gave me a call and had a conversation with me and told me I wasn't on the team. But yeah, that really motivated me to have a really good year this year. I mean, I feel like I've been out here for so long. I don't know how many more years I have on tour, so, to be able to make this team means a lot.
And then Nelly, if I could just ask one more. For you, I mean, being the world #1, I think a lot of people on your team are looking up to you and looking to you as a leader. What does that mean to you to be thought of that way, and also to play for somebody like Stacey who's been in your shoes, that's been top in the world?
Yeah, it's been, to touch on Stacey, it's been so fun playing for her. She's really, really involved, and I feel like she's been such a great captain and leader, so she's been great to lean on, and it's great to see how organized she is too. So, our days are planned out to a T, so we have nothing to worry about other than, our business on the golf course. And then, as Megan said, we have such a great group of girls and guys, so when we get into that team room, we're just relaxing. Like, our business is done for the day, and we're just going in, relaxing, and getting ready for the next day. And then, this is my 4th Solheim Cup, and it's Megan's 4th Solheim Cup, and I don't know how many Lexi's been on. I think this is her 6th. So for the amount that I've played, I mean, there's definitely other people that, we can look up to, but at the end of the day, I hope that, we can all come together as a team and just lean on each other than someone else leaning on maybe me because I have a more experience or I'm the #1 player in the world. I just hope that we all come together and lean on each other.
All right, on the right.
Oh, hi. Yeah, another one for Nelly. In Scotland at the AIG Women's Open, I spoke to so many fans, so many young fans who were saying your name and cheering you on, and you're such a role model to them. Does that inspire you, and does that spur you on to hopefully go and play even better golf?
Yeah, I think that's the best part of this job, that, we get to inspire the next generation. They come out and they tell us that, we inspire them to pick up the game of golf. And to me, that's just such an amazing feeling to see them come out and support not just me, but everyone around. But yeah, it definitely motivates me to be a better person as well.
Great, and just one more. Paula, great to see you. The amphitheatre that is the first tee, it's one of the greatest sporting moments there is, and the feeling of walking out there. What advice are you giving to the girls this week and how they can control those feelings?
I mean, there's nothing like the first tee shot at Solheim, that's for sure. And, we only have 2 rookies on our team, so a lot of the girls obviously know what that is like and what that feels like. And that first tee, I think they did just such an amazing job with that stadium effect. And, everybody's nervous, that's for sure. No one's not going to be not nervous standing there. And if they aren't, then kudos to them, because I don't know how that's even possible. But the good thing is that everybody talks amongst each other too, and everybody knows, certain situations. That's why you have a partner, and you can rely on them as well. But take a hard practice swing, hit the fairway, and move on.
Thank you.
All right, on the left.
Could I please ask each of you what you took from meeting Barack Obama at dinner last night?
Each of you? Megan, yeah, if you'd like to start.
Honestly, it was just super cool to have a past president kind of show up to team dinner. I mean, it's pretty incredible that he took time out of his day to come meet all of us, and I know he plays that up here, so just kind of the appreciation for the time he gave up to come see us is incredible.
Yeah, and to add to that, he knew all of our names too, and he congratulated on all of us on all of our success as well.
And I think it just Is this working? Oh, okay. And I think it just shows how much golf brings people together. To see him there, and you know, we see him on TV in the past. He was our former president, and to see him kind of connect with us and relate to us in a way, I think is really, really cool and something only golf can bring. Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the right here. Amy?
Alison, it almost feels like you're a rookie again since it's been so long since you were last on the team. What do you remember about that experience of being on the Solheim Cup in 2015?
Yeah, I don't remember much. Paula was on the team with me. All the captains and assistant captains for us this year were on the team with me, so I do have a little bit of familiarity there, having them with me this week. I remember being in Germany. I missed the opening gala because I had like food poisoning that week. I had no family there. I knew no one on the team. I just felt like such an outsider. So to be able to play on the team now, being more familiar with all the girls and being really good friends with all of them, and even though it's only my second time, I do feel like a veteran out here because I've been on tour for so long and I've played alongside these girls a long time. So definitely a very different experience.
Nelly, you mentioned how crazy and long the year has been already. How does this experience this week impact you as a player and a person at this stage of the season?
Yeah, it's such a fun event. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like walking onto that first tee and feeling all those nerves. And I think it's something super exciting too and refreshing to have a teammate, have teammates and captains and people to lean on when you normally don't. And every experience that I've had, obviously, haven't been on the winning side, but every experience that I've had in the Solheim Cups has been an amazing one, and I always strive to make the team.
Paula, you've played with Lexi throughout the years. This is likely her final Solheim Cup as she's hoping to step away. What has Lexi meant to the U.S. side all these years and this season in particular?
Lexi has definitely changed, women's golf. I actually got to play with her rookie year at Solheim in Colorado. I believe that was her first one. And to see how far she's come from there until now. But you can tell she's so happy right now. I think that making that decision earlier this year has definitely helped her enjoy, these moments and enjoy being on a team right now. But she has definitely made a huge impact on the game of golf, for the juniors and everything. So she'll definitely be missed, but she'll always be there, that's for sure. I don't think she's going too far away from the game, just not out here.
All right, we'll bounce back to the left. Kent?
Nelly and Megan, could you compare RTJ to Finca Cortison last year, and what parts of your game here will test more so than over there?
They're so different, these two golf courses.
It's an easier walk this week.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different grass, too. I don't know, I mean, I feel like maybe there'll be more birdies out here.
No, definitely. I mean, I think the greens here have a little more undulations to them. As big as they are, they kind of have little pockets, I would call it, on the greens, because if you're kind of on the wrong side of those pockets, there are going to be some tough putts out there. So, it looks like, your ball striking is really going to have to be on point. I think majority of the par fives are reachable. We played the back nine today, and I know that, the two on the back were. But, I mean, Finca was just obviously a very beautiful golf course, the scene and everything, but obviously being on home soil, we're kind of biased to, hopefully an RTJ ends up in our favor this week. And, I know we'll have the fans on our side a little louder than we did over there, but overall, both golf courses are amazing, and we're very happy to be here playing on these beautiful courses, but we're hoping we have a little more luck here.
As you're kind of alluding to, both of you in your fourth Solheim haven't seen a win yet. What's the pressure like this week to end that streak now?
We got some unfinished business.
That's kind of been the motto of the team this year is unfinished business, and, some people have asked me what one word would be to describe Team USA this year, and I'm just going to say hungry, because, Nelly and I obviously being on, the same amount of Solheim Cups and not necessarily getting the job done last year, it kind of leaves, like, not necessarily best taste in your mouth, but, you know, luckily we didn't have to wait 2 years. We have this year to kind of get back at it, and I can tell you now we're more hungry than ever.
All right, back to the right.
This is for Nelly. Nelly, this Washington, D.C. region has been very kind to your family. Your father won the tennis tournament here about 32 years ago. Your brother had a big breakthrough this summer at the tournament. Do you feel like you're due for a big win here in this region, and what brings out kind of the best out of the Korda family here?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, definitely we've had some luck here in the DC region. Yeah, I mean, Seb finally had a breakthrough win. I was so happy for him. I get more nervous watching him than I get anyone else. So it was really nice to see him with all the work that he's putting in to succeed. And you know, we have a great group of girls. We have a great group of guys. We have a great captain. We have really great assistant captains, and hopefully it all falls into place and we play some really good golf for the fans out here this week.
All right, go to Jean. Yeah.
Megan, for you, if I could ask you about another one of your teammates. Speaking to Lauren Coughlin, she said you two have come close over the years. Just what do you make of her rise from outside the top 100 to 14th in the world now, and what can that resiliency be in terms of an asset to Team USA?
You know, Lauren and I spent Saturday at the AIG British Open at a coffee shop, and, you know, I was chit-chatting with her, and to see her kind of, again, you know, that never give up, that attitude of just pushing through. Obviously, the week prior, we played in the Scottish Open together, and I was in awe. I think after 9 holes at the Scottish, I was like, I looked at my caddy and I was like, she's gonna win. I'm like, she's walking in like 30 footers for par. And like, you know, obviously at the time I was like, oh man, but like, you know, I'm very excited to see that this week. But you know, to see her kind of rise to the occasion, you know, obviously we both won Canada as our first event. It's pretty dang cool. And, you know, to win the Scottish right after, essentially, it was super cool. She's so down to earth. You know, her and her husband are great people. And, you know, she has Terry Mack, longtime caddy, on the bag as well. And, you know, I know he brings a lot of wisdom, and I'm sure he's going to give us a lot of knowledge out there to the team room as well. But I couldn't be happier for Lauren. Like, again, great golfer, even better person.
Paula, for you, Solheim Cup obviously is a big deal no matter where it's contested, but to be here so close to DC and the Pentagon with the 9/11 anniversary coming up tomorrow, just how much does that raise the stakes for Team USA?
I mean, yesterday was, I think, one of the coolest things that we were able to do, and go to the Pentagon and actually be looking at the memorial there. And I mean, we were talking, actually, Angela and I, we were like, how crazy it is that we are here this week representing the United States. September 11th is tomorrow, and, you know, we are here as a team, and that's, you know, what our country is all about, is, you know, wearing that red, white, and blue. And Angie and I both were like, man, we're jealous. We want to be on that team and be playing, because it's such a unique experience, and playing in America is so different than playing overseas. And, you know, it's a whole nother, it's 2 different worlds for us, and to be here this week is pretty awesome. I know tomorrow is going to be a tough day. It always is, you know, just what has happened to our country, but at the same time, here we are as 12 girls that compete against each other, you know, every week, and now we're a team. And I think that this week is actually, it's all going to be, I think, meant to be for Team USA.
All right, to the right one more time, and then we'll, right, you, sir.
Nelly, you just came from an Olympics where there was equal representation between women and men, 50-50 split. The WNBA has obviously had a huge surge. The Women's Soccer League is doing really well. I wonder how you feel how women's golf has stepped into that moment. And Paula, maybe you could address, over the course of your career, just what you've seen in the popularity of the women's game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky enough that I've gotten to experience what kind of life on tour is like since my sister's been out, and seen like what inside the ropes and what purses were like since 2011, and to see the growth in the game, and not even just, you know, purses, but just interest from fans and other companies to invest in women's golf has been amazing. And I feel like, you know, we're trending in the right direction, and hopefully they continue to invest in the product, because it is amazing. There's so many stories out here, and the personalities and the girls are such amazing people, and hopefully we continue having people continue investing in the women's game.
Yeah, it's hard to believe next year is going to be my 20th year on tour. absurd. That's crazy for me to even say. I'm like, I am old, but you know, from my rookie year till now, it is the girls, the product that we have. I think that we're getting more exposure. You see a lot more careers at the longevity of girls. They've been around a lot longer than what they were in the past. I think that's a huge part of it. And these purses just keep getting bigger and bigger, and that's what obviously we want, and what we want in women's sports is to have that and to showcase the women. You know, it's taken a long time, but I think we're getting there. We still need a little bit more push, but at the same time, it is night and day from, you know, when I first came out on tour till it is now. That's for sure.
All right, to the left.
Hi, Alison. You were just asked about your memories of Germany 9 years ago, and obviously there was the incident which so happened to involve this year's European captain. I know there's a lot of water under the bridge since, but at the time, how difficult was that to deal with, and how often do you think about it?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think about it too often. It was a very long time ago. I would say in the moment, it was tough. I was very intimidated at the time, like I said. I mean, I was a rookie on tour. I didn't really know any of the girls on my team either. I wasn't really good friends with them. I just felt like kind of the newbie young girl who kind of made it on the team, and everyone thankfully just kind of rallied behind me and were so warm and welcoming and did everything they could to support me. And regardless of everything that happened, I feel like I was so lucky to have a great group of women around me who could support me and be there for me. I mean, I feel like I didn't know Paula at all going into Solheim Cup, and I think with everything that happened, everyone just rallied behind me, and it was just so nice to have a good group of women.
And all good between you and Suzanne now?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really talked to her at all since then.
All right, raise your hand if you have another question. Can you pass the mic to the left?
Hi, we're talking about the atmosphere on the first tee. What would be your walk-up song if you could have one? I know the music differences have differed on the team, as we saw earlier today.
Oh, that's so hard.
There's too many options.
There's so many options these days. It'll be a game time decision if it comes to one. Yeah.
All right, any more?
Maybe all I do is win.
Good choice. Any more questions in the media center? All right, we have one here on the Zoom. Bob, if you'd like to unmute yourself now and ask your question.
Yeah, this is for Megan and Nelly. Lexi is the only member of this U.S. team to make more Solheim Cup appearances than you two. And both of you have been on multiple.
Can we get the volume turned up a bit? Or Bob, if you could speak into your mic a little clearer.
Okay, sorry.
You're fine.
This is for Megan and Nelly. Lexi is the only member of the U.S. team, of this U.S. team, to make more Solheim Cup appearances than you two, and both of you have been on multiple teams with her. What has she meant to the team beyond what she's done on the golf course?
You know, I think Lexi's just such a great role model for not only us, but for the young kids. You know, you look at her and she's so engaging with, you know, the volunteers, the fans, and sponsors. You know, she does the absolute most, and I think, you know, the tour is going to lose, you know, a huge asset when she does retire. And I joke with her, I was like, you're not really retiring. But, you know, I got to play with her the last 2 days, last week at the FM Championship, and, you know, it's so good getting to play with her, and I really cherish those rounds with her because you see how she is, even after like a bad shot, you know, she's still right there next to you. And, you know, I was lucky enough to play alternate shot with her last year in Solheim Cup, and we kind of went out there. She hit the first tee shot of the week, and we went out there, won the first hole, and never looked back. And, you know, going out there, just kind of looking at each other, obviously our height difference is substantial. So her looking down at me and me looking up at her, you know, it's a lot of fun out there. And, you know, Lexi definitely has a fun side to her, and so I'm hoping we can bring that out more, and that's exactly what this week does. It brings out everyone's personalities in the best way.
Is that your only question, Bob?
I had one more for Alison. Has there been any sentiment in the team room to like win one for Lexi, or, you know, make sure she goes out in a great way?
Yeah, I want to say, I think out of this whole team, Lexi and I have been the only ones to have been on a winning team. So maybe that's
were
what
there
this
in
team,
junior Solheim.
Yeah, we won our junior Solheim Cup, okay?
Yeah, so maybe that's what this team needed, just a bit of Lexi and me, and hopefully we got some good mojo going into this weekend.
Yeah, we were in Germany too.
All right. Thank you, Bob. All right, thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Maybe we'll do that tonight.
No.
Oh, let's do a fourth one.